What's happening, everybody? We're here at Funny Bone St. Charles with Larry Reeb. Larry just killed it tonight at St. Charles. So look.
Wow, that was a weird group because it was a work party.
Right. The first thing, JC, who opened for you, the first thing he said to me in the back was, "I just got fucking killed by this crowd." That was the first thing he said. And then, but it was interesting because I didn't hear his set. He had a rough set. He said it didn't go well. Yeah. And then you absolutely brought it. You were talking about. I mean, I don't want to spoil your material, but here's the other thing: is you've been doing this for 35 years now.
No, 45.
40. Okay,
going on 45.
35 since you launched your first special. Right?
Yeah.
So what you did 5 years? Did it 5 years before your first special?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing it since 77. Yeah.
So the likelihood of me spoiling your material after you've been doing it for 35 years would probably not be that relevant. But anyways, let me give you the Cliff Notes version. He was talking about lots of vile things, right?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. And
I do, yeah.
And here's what I loved about it is even the stuff that you said that wasn't funny, like it's just a plain statement that you're making.
Yeah.
You say it in a funny way. The way the words are spaced out.
Right.
Even talking to you now, I can tell the way you do it on stage is so much more drawn out. Like you really bringing out the showmanship.
Yeah. You turn it on, yeah.
And so the way you talk on stage, it's almost like, I mean, You're really making some things super slow where you sound real simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a true work of art.
Well, thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate it.
It's something you really got to see because it's hard for me just to talk about it, but to see it in action, and then especially with a stiff crowd. So if you've ever been to a comedy club, tonight the entire crowd was pretty much a company.
Yeah, there were 6 people that weren't.
And there were 6 people weren't in it.
When there is a group, they laugh as one.
Right.
They always do. And they like to be picked on.
Right.
So that's why I would screw with it.
It was great.
But the weird part, when he was up here, they wouldn't shut up. And then as soon as I got up here, they went completely quiet. And they were just like, and then I started messing with them to loosen them up.
That was solid.
It was just weird.
And they had their HR department here.
Yeah, they had. Well, that's the other thing. Because I'm completely not politically correct. So when you're doing a group that they're politically correct, I mean, that's the workplace.
Like they're trying to be.
They have to, but they can't laugh at certain stuff.
Unless every single
unless
person.
the boss is yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like groups like that. That's why I don't do a lot of private stuff.
So JC, you said coming out, they're talking, and then you came out, they just clammed up and started paying attention. Do you feel like
but they weren't really laughing at first. It took me, they were just completely stiff. They were just, I had to loosen them up.
Did you have anything in particular that you did to try and grab their attention and switch the crowd up?
Well, I knew they wouldn't tell him what they were. What their group was.
And was he asking?
Yeah, and they wouldn't tell him.
Right.
So I did a couple, then I go, I know you're agriculture fuckers, and then they lose. I go, and you're probably sniffing the chemicals, and then they loosened up.
Did you nail it? They were agriculture people?
Yeah, that's what they were.
No way.
Yeah, well, the one lady had told me, but the rest of them didn't know that. Yeah. When I was here, the one lady was here by herself, and she told me they were agriculture. But they were very secret. She wouldn't say exactly what, I'd they're making the chemicals that's killing us all is what they are.
Like anyone cares who your company name is, nerds?
Yeah, I know. That's how they always are like that. They don't want to. It's weird.
Like it's going to get back in the news. Like this company laughed at.
It's like they don't want to play
banging a girl out the window.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So what got you into comedy? Like back 77, you said 77.
I started in 77.
And where were you at in the moment you started? Because here now, I feel like there's a lot of info out there. If you want to get into stand-up, you can be like, this guy says do this, and this guy says, and you can piece together a plan.
Right.
77, how in the hell did you even think
There
it's
weren't
a
even
thing?
any clubs, barely. There was just well, I love comedy. My dad liked comedy. I grew up watching Ed Sullivan and Rodney on there, and Tonight Show. Carlin I loved. So I was 15. It was a speech class in high school, and they let us do whatever we want. So I did a funny speech, and it got laughs, and I got an A minus. That's the first A I ever got in my whole life. So I'm like, and it was once you get laughs,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's what I want to do. But it took me 4 years before I was 19.
So that was in high school that you did a paper?
15, yeah.
So 15 to 19. So from 15 to 19, you don't know what you're doing. You're just like, I'd like to do that.
I want to do that. But
So-
I didn't know how I start or nothing.
So are you writing?
Yeah,
at
I
this
kept
point?
trying to write jokes, and, I had a bunch of odd jobs. And then there was a showcase in Lyons, Illinois, suburb of Chicago. And they did a Thursday night open night. So I heard about that, and I went up there, and that was it.
So you did an open mic, and then what do you mean that was it? You just started doing open mics?
Yeah, well, it was weird, too. I drove 90 miles because I lived in Central Illinois. And I said, it's new talent, and the guy goes, yeah, we'll get you on later. Just watch the show. So the show's, all of a sudden, they're ending the show. And they didn't bring, and I go, hey, I thought you was going to bring, I go, oh, and now they're ending the show. People leaving. He's like, oh, I forgot. We had no other new talent, so I forgot to bring you up. So it was upstairs. There was only like 12 people left. They're going downstairs. He yells to them. This guy drove 90 miles, and I forgot to put him up. Please come back. So they came back.
That's awesome.
And sat in the front, and the other couple of comics. And I did 5 minutes, and I got a few laughs. And
Yeah.
Then he was really nice to me. He's like, come back next week. I'll get you up early. And that's what I did. And I kept coming back, and he kept.
At the very beginning, were you as like vile as because you get rough, you get crude.
No.
But you weren't back then.
No, not this time.
So you got more crude over time.
Yeah.
Because I listen.
Well, I don't call it crude. It's just sick jokes. I call it
I like it.
sickness.
Whatever.
Dark
But
humor.
It's super dark, but
Yeah.
it is hilarious,
Yeah.
and you even got the HR department laughing at it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can get the HR department laughing at the dirty stuff,
Oh, yeah. I don't get many people offended, really. They know I'm joking. The whole thing is goofy, and they know it's. So I don't really get a lot of. Sometimes, but not. I have over the years, but anymore, most people don't.
you mean overall the crowds you don't get a lot of.
Yeah, like there's some comics that get a lot of walkouts. I don't get that.
You don't get walkouts?
Hardly ever. Yeah.
Wow.
It's very rare. Yeah.
Do you? So I came in.
I say that now. People,
Now you're gonna get.
We'll
all
come
tonight.
see him and walk out on him.
Yep. This start you just got canceled just now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the end.
Yeah.
70. All right, 77. So you started getting into it, and I just to give you guys a quick snippet of of your career. Best comedian in Chicago. You won that.
A couple times, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A few times over. You've been on multiple TV shows. You've been all over. You're a regular on Bob and Tom show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But your style is so different, and like just to even follow what you're doing, is mind blowing to me. You've been doing it for 35. You said how long?
45 years in June.
45 years.
And I haven't had a day job since 1979. Knock on wood.
Wow.
I've done it for living.
And so, like for you, all these weird, quirky things that I think are genius. You're like, I do this every fucking weekend, right?
Well,
so to
yeah.
me, seeing it anew, I am mind blown.
That's good.
Yeah,
I try to be different. That's my thing. I try to be different.
it's genius.
I'm old school one-liners, basically, but with the sickness. See, I've combined the two. Because I love Carlin, I love Dangerfield. So it's kind of like that. That just, it evolved over the years.
And when you're writing this stuff, you just think more in one-liners, where you're trying to write one-liner after one-liner.
Yeah, pretty much.
And,
I look for lines. Yeah.
And what can you tell me kind of about your writing technique?
Well, I try to just, you write down. I get like a legal pad and would write ideas, and then you try to come up with the twist. That's all it is. That's all jokes are. You get a premise, whatever, and then you try to turn it around. You make some twist to it.
Do you are you like a 4-hour block guy? You're like, I'm going to sit down for 4 hours and just jot
Not
stuff down?
anymore. But
so you just kind of whenever
a lot
stuff
of it comes to me, yeah.
And then what, do you keep a notepad on you?
Always do. Got one right here.
That's awesome.
I know people use that phone, but I still got the note, yeah.
I'm on an iPad, and I like it. Actually, that's what we're filming on.
Oh, okay.
But I always keep it in my book bag. It's an odd thing to have to carry that around with you all the time because, I always have a book bag, so that's kind of a pain. But from me being committed to carrying the book bag, which is the iPad,
right,
it has kept me in that state where if I think of something, I always have it on me. It makes me write down, same as you.
That's why, yep. Because how many times, if you don't have it, or be in bed and you think of something, I'm like, I'll write that down in the morning. You don't get out, and then you wake up, you can't remember what the hell it was. It might have been the funniest, it might not have, but it might have been great. But if you don't write it down right away, especially my age, it's really.
That Mitch Hedberg joke, it's like I keep a notepad next to my bed. In case I think of something funny, I'll write it down. Mm-hmm. Unless I don't have the notepad there. Then I have to just convince myself that it wasn't that funny anyways.
Yeah, that's it.
I probably butchered that. But, yeah, it's, just having that around constantly because you're never going to remember that for later. I do this. I either write it immediately down on the iPad or I text myself, which is another way, which I prefer the iPad because then it's all in just one spot or, whatever it is you're writing on.
Yeah.
But the texting myself, because it's like if you, for some weird reason, I don't have that, I text myself, and I always text myself jokes. So then all I have to do is check my text for myself, and I'll have like 3 more jokes that I wouldn't have. There's no way you'll ever remember that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I think. Write that down. Text yourself that, guys.
That's a good idea.
So what do you have next? What things are you working on in the near future? Just murdering comedy
Just
mics?
going around, and I'm going to Vegas in about 3-4 weeks. That's my favorite. I love Vegas. I work Brad Garrett's at the MGM.
So you do 3-4 weeks of Vegas, in and out?
That's my favorite gig.
Is it?
Not as much anymore. They'll book me once or twice a year now. But
and it's
I used to work. It's a whole week. I'll be there from Monday through Sunday. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Vegas?
I just like the whole. It's open. I just like it's open all night, and it's just fun. And then it's a great club. Brad Garrett is a great guy, and he MCs sometimes.
Okay.
Like a couple of times a month. So you get to work with him, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He'll give you first time he shook my hand, give me $100. Go have fun. Takes you to dinners. I mean, they just treat you.
Nice.
It's like real show business.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They treat you now. It's a great back room. And
would you go there? Would you move there?
If I had a regular gig, but.
So if you had a year-long gig, boom, you're in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. If I could get a regular, that would be the best. Those guys, they got regular gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best. I used to work the Reeb about 3-4 times a year, but then they tore it down.
Do you think you could handle the lifestyle year-round, Vegas? Vegas lifestyle?
You live out in the outside.
You live outside the city.
Outside is pretty good. Yeah.
So then you get it in small doses when you come in on the weekends.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be too bad.
You want to live? Yeah, you couldn't do that all the time. But if you just live out, you can live out there pretty cheap too if you're not on the Strip.
Yeah,
the Strip is ridiculous, the price. But
everything outside of Vegas is pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like even Palm Springs, it's not that. You think Palm Springs, you think of like a lush garden area. It's not that. It's surrounded by desert.
Yeah, it's all desert, and it's brutal in the summer.
Oh yeah, 135 degrees.
Yeah.
Like 120 is a bad day, but if it's a real bad day, it hits like 135, and I think even 140.
Yeah.
In that area.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Well, hey. He's going to be here all weekend. St. Charles Funny Bone. Follow him on Facebook. This man is truly something to see.
I'm on TikTok now, too.
No way. Get on out of here. I'm on TikTok, too.
I got to get – everybody tells me, the young people say, you got to get on TikTok. So I'm trying to – I do a joke a day, like a tip a day on TikTok.
You're hilarious.
So we'll see. I got about 1,000 now. I just started it.
It's going to explode once people find out about
see.
it. Well, once you hit 1,000.
And I do sick jokes on there too. So.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah. Sick tips.
So follow him on TikTok. But if once you hit 1,000, that's when you go to you can do lives.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is whenever you're bored, like let's say riding the subway in your apartment or whatever, you bust out a live and just start talking shit to people.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Cool.
Anyways, follow him on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok.
Appreciate it.
Jeremy Jenin, Larry Reeb, and come check us out at St. Charles Funny Bone. Peace.
All right. Thanks a lot. Are you going to be working this weekend?
I'll be here all week.